Right now at 5 o'clock, we begin in southern Indiana, where the Indiana State Fire Marshal is investigating after a fire yesterday morning took the life of a 14-year-old girl. It happened in Madison. Ian Hartwitt is there with senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton. They have details on the heroic actions taken to try to save her life.
An investigator with the Indiana State Fire Marshal says the fire here started small, but when 3 fire departments came to respond, the house was entirely consumed in flames. Gus Trippett lives a few doors down from the scorched home where 14-year-old Dulce Crystal Martinez Ortiz lost her life Wednesday morning. The teen's mother, Ariana Ortiz Roblero, frantically tried to save Dulce by breaking a rear bedroom window. Tragically, she was unable to get to her daughter, and the efforts even landed Ortiz Roblero in the hospital with an injury of her own. Trippett expects his neighbor to recover, but knows some of the deeper wounds won't heal.
Body-wise, you might pull through, but you never pull through from losing a kid. I know I lost one.
In a small community like Madison, Indiana, one life can intertwine with so many more. Detective Sergeant Yancey Denning, previously a school resource officer, told us Martinez Ortiz was a freshman at Madison High School. He responded yesterday morning along with Chief Robert Black of Madison Township Volunteer Fire Company. The fire department responded quickly, but there were already people fighting the blaze before they arrived.
The neighbors valiantly tried to help with garden hoses and a bucket brigade.
In the wake of their swift action, one family is still left without their daughter and without their home. In Madison, Indiana, Ian Hartwitt and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton, WHAS11, on your side.
A GoFundMe is online if you want to help that family as they recover from this devastating loss. You can find it on our website. In this article, just click on the story at WHAS11.com. An update in the case of Lyndon Bray now, the woman found dead in Jefferson Memorial Forest back in July. Charges have been dropped against her boyfriend and he has been released from jail. Timothy Winterhaller's case was dismissed after a grand jury declined to indict him on arson charges. His girlfriend was reported missing after she went hiking with her dogs. Police found her body the next morning. The coroner's office says she died due to hanging. Winterhaller is the one who reported her missing. He also admitted to police that he set her car on fire. Car was found right near her body. He was never charged in her death. And Louisville Metro Police have made an arrest in a deadly shooting of an employee at a downtown food mart. That shooting happened back in June. Court records show 23-year-old Joe Wanta Dickerson got into an argument with an employee at the food mart right there on Broadway. Officers say the argument escalated and Dickerson pulled out a gun, shooting the employee. Dickerson then ran from the scene before police arrived. He's now charged with murder and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. Dickerson is expected in court tomorrow morning. A fiery crash involving 2 semi-trucks on I-64 West had the highway shut down for hours today. The crash was located just before the I-265 ramp. Here you see some of that traffic this morning. LMPD said around 9 this morning, one of the semi-tractor trailers broke down and was in the right-hand emergency lane when a semi-tractor trailer hit the broken down semi. This caused it to catch fire. This afternoon, they still have 2 left lanes open as they work to clean up that accident. And more news right here at 5 o'clock. The call for many JCPS parents to boost security in schools may soon be getting answered. The school district giving us a more definitive timeline into the installation of weapon detectors. Isaiah Kim Martinez reports from one school confirmed to be first in line.
JCPS officials say they've completed campus walkthroughs and are ready for phased implementation next month. Now, for one former board member, this milestone serves as a reminder just how much things have changed here in recent years.
We would have some guns in school, but nothing like now. You never heard the pepper spray, and the violence is just rampant, and it's really sad.
Former board member of nearly 30 years, Carol Haddad says weapons detectors should help reduce incidents posing risks to student safety.
And I think it will alert students that something's going to be happening if they're caught with it.
The school district telling us Eastern High School, one of the largest in JCPS, will be in that first round of installations in October. Just last week, their principal reporting a student holding up what they called a steak knife during a fight with another student at lunch. Thankfully, no one was injured.
It's my understanding that these will go into the schools where we have had the greatest number of reports of weapons.
The units designed by Evolve Technology will be used to catch any concealed weapons like guns in students' possessions as they enter their schools each morning. The mission started more than 7 months ago when JCPS's board voted in favor to look into installing weapons detectors amid pressure from parents to act. Board member Linda Duncan, one of those yes votes.
I know no solution is going to be perfect, but what I'm looking for is what can help us reduce the odds.
Meanwhile, Haddad telling me while she supports the move,
Kids are not learning when all that's going on, and I think it's going to affect them, more than anybody else, and I really feel bad about that.
she says a community unable to support its kids remains at the heart of this issue. Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
JCPS leaders say they'll start installing these in high schools and then they'll move on to the middle schools next school year. Checking back in with Christina now as we give you a live look outside. Certainly a little bit of a warm up today. Christina, is this seasonally about on average?
Actually, we're about a handful of degrees where we typically are for this time of year as we begin closing out summer and then saying hello to fall on Saturday morning. So outside right now, yes, it does feel every bit like summer as we're sitting in the mid 80s here in the metro. We are feeling a little bit more seasonable outside of town though, where we're checking in the lower 80s pretty much across the board from Bowman Field over to Fort Knox. You see 82 is pretty much just that popular number that we're feeling as we head outside right now. And no rain to speak of for us, so that's good news for Louder Than Life fans heading into the concerts into the next couple of hours. Temperatures are just slowly going to be falling down into the 70s into the next couple of hours. Eventually, though, bottoming out in the low and middle 60s. We do have some rain that's well out of our area, and it's continuing to weaken as it heads in our direction. I don't think we're really going to see a whole lot of that. Certainly nothing meaningful, unfortunately, because we could certainly use it. Maybe there's a little raindrop going on right now around Tell City, but largely going to be staying dry across Kentuckiana and clearing on out as we head into our Friday morning for the last day of summer. Again, waking up in the low and middle 60s, but then warming up quickly into the mid and even a few upper 80s before the day is done. I mentioned we could desperately use some rainfall. We've barely made it to about 1/4 of an inch of rain, putting us at about a 2-inch deficit. I'll tell you if we have any rain to speak of in that 7-day forecast here in less than 10 minutes. Shay.
All right, Christina, thank you. Well, the United Auto Workers strike is in its 7th day, and our local UAW chapter, that's 862, plans to rally in support of those already on the picket line. Union President Shawn Fain says more members will walk out tomorrow at noon if a deal cannot be reached between the union and the automakers. Workers are demanding better pay and benefits. Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis all say they are negotiating in good faith, but progress in making a deal has been slow. This comes as General Motors and Stellantis are announcing layoffs. The auto companies say the actions are fallout from the strike. General Motors idled a plant in Kansas with 2,000 workers because they don't have the parts to work with. They say the plant that makes those parts is on strike. Stellantis is expected to lay off more than 300 workers in Ohio and Indiana. The UAW calls the layoffs unnecessary in an effort to add pressure to workers to settle for less. Well, tonight's UAW rally is set for 6 p.m. It'll be at the Union Hall on Fern Valley Road. A crew right here from WHAS 11 will be there when they kick off, and we have live coverage coming up on WHAS 11 News at 6. Today, the Sports Wagering Advisory Council voted to expand, adding more sports to bet on. In addition to sports like basketball and football, today the council added Formula One racing, National Rugby League, and MMA events to the books. In 1 week, online sports betting will launch in Kentucky. In-person betting is already underway. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says the money wagered is only expected to grow.